everyone, welcome back to Positive Rewire. I'm Carissa. So if you watched the video from yesterday, I had a day. In addition to that, I probably should have mentioned that I'm also really super sad that Daft Punk broke up. I loved Daft Punk. Still love Daft Punk, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I had kind of another crazy day. I had to go to the orthodontist because when they took my braces off many years ago, they put a metal plate on the back of my two front teeth. And part of it, like, the glue came unstuck, and it started traveling up and into my gums. So I had been putting it off forever, because I didn't know how much it was going to cost me to get it taken off. But my dentist, when I was there in December, was like, you know, it's kind of getting more, like, you really should get it off, because it's, like, getting in your gum. I'm like, yes, I know. So I finally called them, and I finally got an appointment for today. I went in, it, like, took an hour, because, well, so what they had to do is, okay, so the thing that made me happy is I got this done. That should be number one. The thing that made me happy is I got this done. So I actually should start before that, because what happened is on my way there, you know, I'm not feeling great. I felt really bad at work because I told my boss, I'm like, look, this happened yesterday. I don't think I'm going to have the patience to work with some of the kids today, and da-da-da. She's like, it's okay, and, like, I did have the patience, weirdly enough. The kids are lucky I have a soft spot for them. And so I was driving, and it was raining, and so, you know, I'm using my windshield wiper blades, and then all of a sudden, I hear this thunk, and, you know, I'm driving, there's a thunk, and my windshield wiper had flipped, and then nice little scratch across I was like, oh my god, no. It was still raining. I wasn't to the orthodontist yet. Luckily, it wasn't super hard, so rained, so I could just keep driving. So I got there, and Google had me go, like, turn into this plaza, and they're like, it's on your right, and I'm like, but the building's on my left. So they actually put me in the wrong parking lot. So I'd, like, walk around, and I was like, oh, it's that building. I'm like, why didn't you tell me to turn on this street, because the parking lot's on that street, but whatever. So I had to, like, just text them, I'm like, I'm here, and they're like, oh, come right in. I'm like, alright, cool. Yeah, so I went in, it was, like, 2 seconds of waiting, and then, first thing they did was take pictures, head on, sideways, and then just smiling. And then we did individual pictures, like, pulling my lips back and stuff. It was really weird. And then, you know how, like, they used to do impressions where they had these metal trays. Yeah, I'm old. Metal trays where they would, like, put this pink goop in it, and then you'd have to, like, shove it in your mouth and push it up so they could get an impression of your teeth. And they had to make sure it, like, went all the way behind your molar. So, like, I would gag most of the time because I have a really bad reflex. And so now what they have is this wand that's, like, I don't even know if it's, like, this. It's not even this big. And they just, like, scan your teeth, and the computer makes a 3D model of it. And then if they need to make anything for you, they 3D print it, the model of your teeth, and then they go off that. And I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. No gag reflex. It took, like, 2-3 minutes. Like, it was awesome. So then I went with the other dentist and went through, like, what I needed and, talked about retainers, because I lost mine forever ago. And that my teeth had shifted, like, a tiny bit and stuff. But I was like, I really just want this plate off. Like, if you think it's better for me to get a new one back on, like, cool, fine, whatever. If you think it's better to leave it off, like, again, whatever. So it actually, they don't do the, like, plate anymore, they do, like, a tiny wire, and I'm like, oh, okay, and they're like, actually, you don't really need it anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, so, I did have to get new retainers, which I was totally fine with. They look like the clear braces that you put on, and I only have to wear them at night anyway, so, I mean, I wouldn't have cared if I had to wear them during the day, too. I had to get those, and I got some x-rays done, which I wanted to get my wisdom teeth out, but I wanted to be under full anesthesia, and then I found out it was $3,000, and I'm like, never mind. So I actually asked my regular dentist, I'm like, hey, like, can you do it, because, like, last time you said you could, And she's like, well, I know maybe you were worried about your gag reflex. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I'm going to have a lot of instruments, like, way back in your mouth. She, like, jams her fingers in the back. She's like, oh, you're not reacting. I'm like, yeah, as long as you don't touch the back of my mouth, like, I'm good. She's like, alright, well, we gotta look at the x-rays because, my wisdom teeth are really close to I had the word! Not a vein. Oh my gosh. And everybody's gonna be watching this being like, I know what you're talking about! Nerve. Oh my gosh. So it's really close to my nerve. So if they do go into it and they damage it, I could have permanent numbness, wherever, if they hit it. So they might just opt to not take it out, or I'd have to go and spend $3,000, which I really don't want to do. And the reason I've been putting all this, and that's the whole reason like why I've been putting this off for so long, is because I didn't know how much it was going to cost. And it was only like 2-3 years ago that my workplace offered HSA. And so, like, I don't go to the doctors very often, so I signed up like that because they put money into an account, I think, quarterly. So it's like, okay, cool, I don't have to do anything, and, like, my, you know, your yearly physicals and stuff are covered under insurance anyway. I'm like, oh, cool. And then one medication I was on was covered, so it was free. I'm like, okay. And then last year, when I wanted to go on antidepressants, I found out that those are covered as well. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing, cool. So I'm still, like, not going to the doctors as much, and I'm putting a little bit of money every paycheck into that HSA, so I'm actually building up money, which I'm like, okay, now that I had to wait, like, a year for oral surgeries for the insurance, which they pay, like, half of it or something like that if it's not in their network, or something, I don't remember, but, yeah, so it's been, like, 2 or 3 years since I had that, so I have a little bit of saved up. So I'm finally like, alright, let's get all my teeth stuff fixed. I have a couple of, like, old fillings that need to be redone, too, because they're, like, the old, like, silvery gray looking grossness. Which I was like, I saw the pictures, I'm like, oh, I gotta get all those fixed, and the orthodontist was like, that's a lot of work and money. I'm like, yeah, I know. They don't have to be redone right away, which is nice. So my next appointment for my regular dentist is in, like, June, I think, for my cleaning. So we'll talk about it then, because I have to do more, sorry. I'm not even that tired. I have to do more, well, possibly more x-rays. They did, like, the panoramic ones, which might be good enough that I don't have to do the bite wings. I hate the bite wings. So, yeah. So I go back next week, to pick up my retainers. And it wasn't I was a little bit worried about how expensive they were going to be, and they weren't as much as I thought they were going to be, which is nice. And she said they last, like, a really long time, so I probably won't have to, go back very often. I think it said, like, 3 months, because it's, like, you have to wear them, and then I think there's, like, at least a 3-month period, and then go back. I don't know exactly, but some contract or whatever said, like, I had to pay this much money, and something about 3 months, and I'm just like, okay. So, we'll see. So after that, I walked through some snow, which amazingly I didn't fall in through the snow pile, back to my car to fix my windshield wiper. And what happened is the clip that goes onto the little hook arm fell off. I'm like, oh. So I put that back on, put the blade back on, and then, you know, turned my car on, checked it, and it was, like, working fine. I'm like, still gonna go get new ones. So I went and picked up some new, windshield wipers. In addition to that, I got more. I was looking for my orange cupcakes and they didn't have them, and I was a little upset. So I ended up getting my unicorn ones. Oh, I'm yawning again. I'm sorry. These are really good. Not as good as my orange cupcakes, but still pretty good. Yeah. So crazy story, and you know, supposedly bad things happen in threes. So hopefully I'm done. That would be nice. I had a fortune cookie on Friday that said, the struggle is over, you can relax, and I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting. Still, yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday, / earlier today. more and more people are finding out about my friend. And I'm still like in like Facebook friends with like a bunch of our mutual friends, and people are just finding out and stuff, and it really sucks. And including like one of my friends was like, "Oh my gosh, we got to do our get together. Like we need to do it definitely now." I was like, "Oh, I wanted to," and then freaking COVID. So I'm also thinking of just like saying, "Hey, let's all do like a Zoom thing and play like games or something, and you know we can hang out virtually," which is not the same, but it'd still be nice to see everybody. Because I haven't seen a lot of my friends like from high school in a really long time. I am lucky enough to have like one of my best friends live across the street from me. Another friend moved back in town. I probably said that yesterday. Another one's moving back in, I think, in June or July of this year, which she said she was never going to move back here, and now she is. And I'm like, yes. So she's only going to be like 2 blocks away, which is nice. Yeah. So hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but trying to stay positive as best as you can. I don't really have anything going on. I'm a pretty boring person, so it's getting a little tricky to do these videos someday when I don't really have anything going on. So I guess stay positive, and I'll see you tomorrow.